First Base. I'm Jeff Hoagland, President and CEO of the Dayton Development Coalition, and we're here this morning to announce an exciting new partnership to support our region's military families. We're joined today by one of Ohio's greatest advocates for children, First Lady Fran DeWine. A mother and a grandmother, Mrs. DeWine understands what Ohio's children need to thrive. As First Lady, she advocates for children nutrition and teaching children about the benefits of fresh, nutritious meals. She is also a fierce supporter of literacy efforts, and as we just saw at the base's Childhood Development Center, which was awesome. I loved how you read to those young 2 and 3-year-olds. And she's an expert storyteller. Her mission is to bring the magic of story time to Ohio's children. Is what brings her here today. So please help me in welcoming Ohio's First Lady, Fran DeWine.
Thank you. It's so great to be here on this beautiful sunny day. So we love these sunny days in November. Makes winter shorter. And it was fun reading to the 2-year-olds. I have one little granddaughter who turned 3 last week, and I have one little grandson who turns 2 tomorrow. So turns 3 tomorrow. He's 2 today. He's going to be 3 tomorrow. So I understand reading to that age kids. And so it's kind of fun to let them tell the story and not try to read too many words to them at the same time. So Jeff, thank you for your kind introduction. I'm excited to be here today to talk about the Imagination Library. You know, our Imagination Library in Ohio here has grown tremendously since we first established it in 2019. We work with so many local partners across the state to make the program available at no cost to all families. A special thanks to 2 of our local program partners who are here today, Greene County Public Library, there's Carl, and Dayton Children's. So thank you very much, Deborah. I've told many of you before, but I learned about the Imagination Library really from my grandkids. I just happened to be with them the day their mail came, and they were opening it up, and there was 2 books in the mail wrapped in plastic, and Jeannie and Stephen were so excited when they actually took those books and ripped that plastic off and read to me, Grandma. And I think the excitement that I saw in those kids at that moment, you know, and I mean, they have their own books, but getting that book in the mail, it was kind of an aha moment for me. And, you know, it's what made me want to look into the program and find out about it. And then when Mike was elected, I thought, that's what I want to do. So anyway, it's good to have Carl here. When I was actually trying to find out about the program, my friend Barbara took me to Carl and said, tell me about the program, and he described how they had done it, and so that's how I got started. So thank you, Carl. Our local programs help us to ensure that books remain free to all families. They're supported by many generous donors. Some of them are here today, including a few from the Miami Valley region, such as Montgomery County commissioners. We're so happy that you as commissioners are helping to do it in your county. It's just been amazing. CareSource, Kettering Health, and many others are here today. Since 2019, thousands of Ohio families have embraced the Imagination Library. In fact, when I think about this, I get a smile on my face. This month, we're at 393,000 kids who are getting the books right now. We're very close to 400,000. So that's pretty exciting. We have taken our vision of creating a statewide program and have worked hard to make families aware of this free resource. We focus on building new partnerships so we can continue reaching even more families in Ohio. That's why I'm excited to discuss our new partnership with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. With over 35,000 military, civilian, and contractor employees. Just think of that, 35,000. That's more than we have in most of our counties, you know. This is the largest single-site employer in the state of Ohio. So we are so excited to be here, and we're so excited to have you as partners. Right Pat is now committed to elevating the awareness and encouraging enrollment so that if you are a part of the BASE family, you will know about the free books offered by the Dolly Parton Imagination Library of Ohio. And that is just fantastic. Mike and I are very grateful. Currently, statewide, we have 59%. We're so close to 60% of our kids in the whole state under 5 that are signed up for the Imagination Library books. I know we're gonna break 60 before the end of the year, right? This Right Pat partnership will must make us reach even more kids. So maybe you can put us over the 60%. Earlier this spring, I actually met with First Lady Jill Biden when she was at one of the Purple schools, one of the elementary schools here in Fairborn. And I talked to her about Ohio's Imagination Library. And what my dream is, I feel that families, military families especially, when they move from base to base, if their kids are signed up for the Imagination Library here in Ohio, if they move to another state that doesn't have it, they don't get the books. And so what we're really working on with the Dolly Parton people in Tennessee, and what we're really working on, is to make it a national thing for the military families. So no matter where you move to, you'll always get your books. We think that would be a great thing. So that's our goal. This way, families, when they're transferred from base to base, the books will follow. Although we can't control the program outside of Ohio, we do hope that this will happen, and we want to make Wright-Patterson kind of the gold standard for how bases can integrate the Imagination Library into the family conversations across America. We all know that Wright-Patterson Air Force Base has been a leader in military development from the time of the airplane inventors Wilbur and Orville Wright to today's aerospace age. And now we can also say that they're a leader in supporting early childhood literacy, as they are committed to elevating awareness, encouraging enrollment in the Imagination Library among families living and working on the base. We are so thrilled to be working with the base, along with the Dayton Development Coalition and many other local partners as we strive to reach more families in Ohio. Jeff, we're so appreciative of your team's support in helping communicate the importance of our book gifting program. Your team, along with JP Nassif's team at Jobs Ohio, is spending time investing in the next generation. Literacy is a lifelong skill, and with your support, we're preparing the future workforce. For the families here today, please sign up for the Imagination Library. This book gifting program is available at no cost to you and will help to prepare your little one to enter kindergarten prepared. And I'm not sure you know that the first book the kids get is The Little Engine That Could, because that's Dolly Parton's favorite. But the last one is Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come. And that is kind of a sad one because the kids know they're not going to get any more books. But anyway, we're getting them ready for kindergarten. And for all the guests here today, please help us by sharing information about the program. Whether you're an aunt, uncle, grandparent, friend, or neighbor, you may also know someone with a child under 5, so you can help sign them up. Any parent looking to enroll their child in the Imagination Library can visit ohioimaginationlibrary.org, and it's very easy to sign up online. Together, we are planting seeds so all children can learn how to read. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. DeWine. And this is why I think you stole my papers. There we go. I do not have this memorized. Ask my team. This is just, as I was sitting there listening to Mrs. DeWine talk, this is why Dayton is so awesome. Dayton is an innovative town. Ohio is an innovative state. And here we are again with our partners at Wright Pat leading the country and being the first to do something with the Dayton Imagination, or with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So thank you again, Mrs. DeWine. This is an awesome program that we have in front of us. Let me get to my second sheet, which Mrs. DeWine still has. But as I'm doing that, that's what I get for not taking my, yeah, that's it. But I do, and Mrs. DeWine, she recognized our county commissioners, but our Greene County commissioners have been amazing. Debbie Lieberman, Carolyn Rice, thank you for your continued support. I know Dr. Edwards, what's it? No, I said the Greene County commissioners over there, and then Montgomery County. Dr. Edwards is with us today, but a lot of this goes back to, Colonel Zeiss, Joe Zeiss is here, and JP Nassif is here, and the work that they did back in the early 2000s to support the base, the big BRAC win that we had in 2005. And I know the governor and the lieutenant governor, it's their goal, it's their stated goal, it's their written goal for Ohio to be the #1 military state in the country, and I think we're almost there. I'm not going to say we're there, but we're really close. But we appreciate the support that this community has had for so many years, but the work is still going. So next on the agenda is Colonel Chris Meeker. We have been fortunate to have he and Kaylin with us for a year and a half. We've got 6 more months of hard work to do together. We're not going to let you go until we get that out of you. But it's been a great partnership with him. My wife and I were talking last night with our boys about what were their favorite books to read when they were growing up. And when I was talking to Charlie, who some of you have seen today, his favorite book, a couple that came to memory were Give a Mouse a Cookie and How I Became a Pirate. And how ironic is that for some of you who know what I'm talking about? Jake's favorite books were How Did Dinosaurs Say Goodnight and Snatch a Book. So it was fun as a family, sitting there last night and Sunday kind of talking about, what an impact that reading has had on their lives. My favorite book reading to them, and Mrs. Hoagland did most of the reading, but I had a favorite. It was by Jamie Lee Curtis. It was Tell Me Again About the Night I Was Born. Pretty impactful book, very strong, and just reading is reading to our kids has just been so important. We see the excitement in children's faces all the time when they're being told stories. Watching Mrs. DeWine read to the children this morning, it was awesome. It was like her grandkids were in front of her reading the books. So it was I know the room was tight, but you'll see some of it on the news tonight, but it was just great to see. Colonel Meeker has been instrumental in bringing the Imagination Library to the children of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. When he arrived on base as the commander of the 88th Air Base Wing, he welcomed the community onto the base for events, and that was, one of the things he came out of the chute from day one is he wanted to open up the base, and he has. This is another example of Colonel Meeker and his team opening up the base to the community, ensuring Wright-Pat's military families can join Ohio's Imagination Library and share the joy of reading with their children is something that will be a part of your legacy forever. So Colonel Meeker, thank you for joining us, and I'll turn this over to you, and I'll take my notes with me.
All right, well, thank you all for coming out today. It's been mentioned several times, and I hope, Jeff kind of just mentioned, I hope that all the video cameras and photographers did it justice, because Mrs. DeWine was not just reading to kids, she was in the eye of the hurricane. It was chaos, and there was kids everywhere, climbing on everything, touching everything. And just, you brought so much joy to our Child Development Center here. We're really proud of our Child Development Centers here on Wright-Patterson. We have the best Child Development Centers in the Air Force and the best team of folks who care for our military families' children. And to have you present with them and see how excited they were. And then, of course, she started giving out free books like Oprah. You get a book, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book. And the kids just lit up, and it was The Hungry Caterpillar is what she read to the kids today. And kind of like Jeff just said, it gave me flashbacks. That was one of my primary dad jobs. As my kids are 17, 15 now. They're both taller than me, smarter than me, better looking than me, and they know everything. But when they were this big, it was my job every night to read them a book and put them to bed, minus my 4 deployments. And even some, imagine military families, that nightly routine where you read a book to your kid. A lot of military families do that over iPads now, right? With someone deployed reading home. And the idea that all of our young military families, especially with these young kids, are going to get a free book in the mail once a month, and they're going to be so excited and whether they're together at home or mom or dad is deployed, reading this new book to them is just such an exciting idea. My kid's favorite book, Jeff, was we had this thing that was the Complete Chronicles of Thomas the Tank Engine. And we read through this thing like 20 times every single night. It's such a special thing that brings families together, that helps kids grow and learn. And again, my kids are now 17 and 15, getting straight A's at the Miami Valley School. And I swear that reading books to them every night contributed to who they are now and the grades they're getting and the future that they're going to have. So the idea that the state of Ohio, Jeff said, Dayton's awesome. I've been to, 20 military bases in my long career. You see all the gray hairs. I've been all over the Air Force. Dayton is awesome. There is no better partnership in the United States Air Force than the one between Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and the local community, to include the state of Ohio, the Dayton Development Coalition, Jobs Ohio. JP, thanks for being here. Our local medical system is amazing. Our local county commissioners that support us, all of our local mayors, industry leaders, everybody across the greater Dayton area. It happened to me 12 times this morning. Every time we all get together, the entire town of Dayton lines up and says, Colonel Meeker, how can we help the base? How can we support military families? How can we make the state of Ohio and the greater Dayton area the best support network for the United States military families and all of your airmen? And it's just such an outpouring of partnership and generosity from the community. So a genuine thank you from me and Kaylin and our entire team here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Thank you so much again, Mrs. DeWine, for this amazing program, and we look forward to this really cool program and to make it, like you said, the best one, the example for the rest of the Air Force and for the rest of the Imagination Library Network. So thank you all and have a great day.
You can tell he's very excited about this program. Thank you, Colonel Meeker. Our next speaker leads Dayton Children's Hospital, one of the region's leading advocates for children's health and well-being. I've been fortunate and blessed to work with Debbie for my entire career. I was an intern at Montgomery County when Debbie was county deputy administrator and then county administrator. So it's been great working with her. But under her leadership, Children's has flourished, creating a new partnership with Shriners Hospital for Children's, bringing care to families in underserved parts of the community with strong focus on equity and health care. For those of you who haven't been by Dayton Children's recently, Debbie has not only changed the hospital, she's changed the neighborhood. And she has just left a legacy that will be with us for a very long time. And when you're at our kids are a little bit older, so they're not going to Children's anymore. They've grown up to some of the big doctors. But in the exam rooms, the community space, what's in those facilities? Books everywhere. And Debbie, she lives it, she loves it, and we're just fortunate that you're a part of this program. Debbie, coming up and say a few words, please.
Thank you, Jeff. It's just so great to be here. So great to be here at the base with Colonel Meeker. We really are proud of our relationships with the base and the children at the base, and oftentimes physicians, Air Force physicians who are stationed here come to Dayton Children's, and I would tell you that, and I say this all the time, if you talk to any of our chief division heads, almost all of them, many of them have served in the Air Force and came back here to Dayton Children's. We also are home to the residency program for pediatricians in the Air Force, so lots of great connections between Dayton Children's and the Air Force, and this is just going to be one more of those. I do have to also say, as I was driving here, I told Mrs. DeWine, I really was thinking about when we had our first conversation about Imagination Library. It was right after the governor and she had been elected, and she had really started this campaign. I remember her saying to me, this is a real problem. Montgomery County doesn't have this program. Greene County already did, thanks to the leadership of the library and Carl. They were already at this work, but we were not. And that was like, that can't be. We can't be that far behind. And so immediately the partners who stepped up, the county commissioners, who I knew they would, I did have a little bit of it with them, but I didn't even have to use that influence, because immediately when they heard that Montgomery County was a part of this program, we needed to be part of the program. And so I could not be happier of how we have expanded. So let me give you a little bit of numbers. on how the program has flourished in Montgomery County. We're almost caught up to Greene County. I think we're one percentage point below them. So of course, we want to be right there with them, and I know we both want to even expand more. But right now, we do have 63% of the children in Montgomery County as part of this program. That is about 20,000 kids. That is amazing if you think about that. 20,000 kids are getting these books every single month. And that's on top of the fact that over 10,000 have graduated from the program. So if we combine both of those, over 30,000 children since this program began in Montgomery County have had the opportunity to participate. Over 618,000 books. Wow, that is a lot of books and a lot of influence. You know, the mission of Dayton Children's is the relentless pursuit of optimal health for every child within our reach. And frankly, education and health are intertwined. The same challenges that prevent a child from reaching optimal health are the same challenges that prevent them from becoming lifelong learners. So this issue of education and health are absolutely intertwined. We are so happy that Wright-Patterson has become a partner here. This is just one more partnership that we have with the base, and we know that this ability to touch so many families will really even drive the needle. Research tells us that 80% or almost 90% of a person's brain development will happen in that 0 to 5 age. Almost 90%. And we know that reading has a significant impact on the development of that child's brain. So I want to just share with you some of the benefits that the research that the foundation has been able to do has shown us in terms of the real impact that this program has. Yes, it's wonderful to think about reading to our children, and it's fun, and we get a lot of emotional joy, but we get real impact, real data that tells us that this is making a difference in the trajectory of children's lives. So we know that it increases the bond between caregiver and children. And 81% of the parents that are participating in this program have reported that it has increased the amount of time that they spend reading with their child. 81% have said it's an increase. Data also tells us that it makes children more interested in reading. Children who read at an early age will become better students. They'll live happier, healthier lives. Through reading, children begin to learn words and sounds and recognize pictures and understand emotion. Reading better prepares children to start kindergarten by strengthening their vocabulary, expanding their speech, creating regular routines, and many, many more. And incredibly importantly, it helps prepare children for kindergarten. I'm sad to say that currently in Montgomery County, only 34% of our children are demonstrating kindergarten readiness. That is just not acceptable. And programs like this truly do make a difference. Research shows us that increasing and improving kindergarten readiness is directly related to early reading. So these three important results of this program just, I think, reinforce what we all know, is that reading to our children makes a difference. And getting these books in the mail for these children to know that they're getting mail, every child loves to open up presents, right? This is a monthly present, and it's reading. So we could not be happier with this new partnership with Wright-Patterson. We couldn't be happier to continue to have our partners at Greene County so that every child in the Dayton region has a great opportunity to grow up healthy, happy, and can thrive. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. That was awesome. Next up, we're going to hear from someone who truly understands the magic of the Imagination Library and how it can bring, how it impacts a family. Captain Marquez Davis is with us today. He has one child enrolled in the program. So please help me in welcoming Captain Marquez Davis so we can hear about his story a little bit.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You think you know a little bit about parenting, but every month is something new. But I heard about Imagination Library through the hospital, actually. We found me and my wife. They asked us if we wanted to sign up, and my wife was just over the moon excited to sign up. And I can honestly say that excitement has not faltered or wavered at all. Every single month that one of those books come in, my wife and now my daughter just gets so excited. So that magical word that's been thrown around, that truly is the only way to describe that feeling that we get getting those books. And I did not even understand the true value and the true happiness that we would get when we first signed up. But now when I see her bring that book to me and say, read, book, every night for about an hour straight. I wish I was exaggerating. It's tiring. They have the energy. Parents know you're going to do it every time, because that feeling that you get from your daughter just looking up with that happiness of your son, bonding and creating those core memories every single night, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, like I said, I really appreciate this experience. I appreciate being able to have Z in something like this, and just, again, that reoccurring, loving, it feels like it's hand-selected with love book right to the front door. When you feel like you can't even get to the grocery store, that has been a relief to us, and it has brought joy to my family that, again, has been magical. So from anybody, if you hear here first, from any parents that are not signed up, I always let them know there's no reason not to sign up. Again, you're going to have an experience that is undescribable. So thank you.
Wow, I hope the media caught that, because that was awesome. Wow, Captain Davis, thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Mrs. DeWine, thank you for joining us today. Colonel Meeker, this partnership is incredible. Debbie Feldman, thank you for your support of the program. The Montgomery County Commissioners, our Greene County Commissioners. I know Dolly Parton isn't here today, and a lot of people always want to see Dolly, but I've been told it's harder to get Dolly Parton than the Pope. But our goal is to get her one of these days. But to all of you for being here today, thank you. This is just an amazing way to start the day. It's a beautiful fall day, and as our community moves forward, as our state moves forward, these little things matter. And just firsthand, hearing Captain Davis talk about how impactful this is, let's do more of it. So once again, thank you for joining us. We're going to do a little photo op if we could have the commissioners, Debbie, Mrs. DeWine, the Meekers, JP, if you could join us, Colonel Zeese, and Captain Davis, if you could come.